Meet the computer you can talk to. With Copilot on Windows, working, creating, and collaborating is as easy as talking. Got writer's block? Share your screen with Copilot Vision to help spark inspiration, and use Copilot Voice to have a conversation and brainstorm ideas. Or maybe you need some tech help. With Copilot Vision, Copilot sees what you see. Let Copilot talk you through step-by-step guidance so you can master new apps, games, and skills faster. Try now at windows.com/Copilot.
Oh, Hilton stay, your beds are soft and cozy. No lumpy couch, no stiff futon, no shower line at crack of dawn. Oh, Hilton stay.
When you want holiday comfort you can count on, it matters where you stay. Enjoy comfortable rooms and friendly service when you stay with Hilton instead. Save up to 25% this season when you book with Hilton. Hilton for the stay. Terms apply.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome to Wrestling with Heart, a podcast looking at pro wrestlers giving back to their community. Join me, Stanley Carr, as I interview wrestling's hottest names who use their platforms as entertainers to raise awareness and do community service. Hello and welcome to another edition of Wrestling with Heart. This is the show where we talk with professional wrestlers and professional wrestling personalities about their lives in and outside of the ring, as well as doing acts of charity work, community service, volunteering, and spreading positivity. We're always about the positive vibes here on the show. And with me right now, I've got a very special guest. She's a 4-time TNA Knockouts champion, as well as a former Knockouts Tag Team champion. I'm pleased to welcome ODB.
Welcome. What's going on? Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. My pleasure. So talk to me about your childhood. Where did you grow up?
Well, I had a fairy tale childhood. I don't have a sad story. I actually have a very loving, awesome story. Growing up, grew up in a loving home, mom and dad married for 50 years, older brother, and of course, we were wrestling fans. And actually, my parents' first date was a wrestling show.
First date?
Yes, their first date in 1973, and it was at the Minneapolis Armory where TNA was just here at, and they were at the AWA back in the Vern Gagne days, and they had their first date there, and then they had me, and it was cool. I mean, we grew up watching wrestling, and I never really thought as a little girl like, oh, I'm gonna do that. I just loved it, and the 80s attracted me with all the colorful characters, all the gimmicks, and with like the Slammy Awards and just the characters, obviously, than being ODB, the character. So it really it glued me. And it was something cool that we made memories with my parents. So
who were some of your favorite wrestlers growing up?
Oh, growing up, I liked the good old Honky Tonk Man, Ravishing Rick Rude, Macho Man. I did not like Hulk Hogan growing up, but rest in peace, Hulk. I love you. but I didn't. Because I always kind of cheered for the bad guys and booed for the good guys. I was one of those people. I had my, posters and stuff, and I had a poster that said Hulk sucked.
Only in wrestling, right?
Right.
Okay. All right. So this was a pretty interesting period of time because it was during one of the biggest booms in wrestling history. You had the WWE, you had NWA, you had the Crockett's, you had so many different promotions across the country. And so getting the chance to watch these guys in action, man, do you remember a point in your life where you said to yourself, this is what I want to do for a living?
Yeah, it kind of came about. So I went to college, did all that, came home. And then it was 2000, and it was WWF at the time. And Jerry the King Lawler and Jim Ross said, do you think you're tough enough to become a WWF superstar? And I was like, hell yeah. So I made a tape and sent it off to Tough Enough, and I did get a call. and I made it to the top 25, but I didn't make it on the show. But I right then and there I knew, because that was pretty much the only time I've ever stepped in a WWF ring. Because I obviously never worked for them, but so I went in there, did my whole. I called myself ODB right away, one dirty bitch, and in front of like Al Snow, Taz, Jacqueline Moore, Mick Foley, I believe, was there too, and then right there when I got sent home, and then I'm like, I want to do that, but I went the hard way. I paid my dues, so it's. But right there in 2000, I knew, and then 2001, I had my first wrestling match.
Well, let's talk about that. First time stepping into a ring, I am sure that was very scary at first. Talk to me about your first memories of stepping into those ropes.
Oh, the indie scene. Well, I remember going. Eddie Sharkey trained me from Minnesota, and he trained. He found the World Warriors, Mr. Perfect, Rick Rude, and I was one of the last people he did train, and it was intense. I was intimidated when I first got into a ring because there was no women there. It was just me, and then stepping in the ring. But once I got in the ring, um, I just I became ODB. It took years and years to get to the ODB character, but I knew it was going somewhere, and it was fun. I just had. I mean, we would practice like 5 days a week, and then on the weekends we'd travel, go to indie shows. But I loved it. Like when I stepped in that ring, I wasn't Jesse. I was the ODB.
Well, you're paying your dues, you're
Yeah.
really, putting the work in and putting those reps in. And when you're learning how to wrestle, I am sure, you're taking some punishment. You have to really discipline
Hmm.
yourself, to stay, in shape and walk me through the training process and any pieces of advice that Eddie gave you when starting out that you've still applied to today after, uh, your time in TNA and, currently after your time in the business.
Well, he told me basically respect. When you walk in to that locker room arena, you shake everyone's hand. I don't care if they're the janitor, because everyone there is part of the show, is making the show go on. And that's what's lost today, I believe. A lot of people don't respect the people that came before them, that paved the way that they're on. So that's the one thing, just in life in general. Always, when you're somewhere, you say hi, you shake someone's hand, you get off your goddamn phone, and you pay your due, pay respect to the people. And that was a one thing that Eddie had, and I think, especially in my era, we did grow up like that, where because we didn't have this social media stuff. So we were taught, like we listened, we focused, and that's just have respect, and that's always stuck with me till today and everything I do in life.
Yes,
Um,
definitely goes a long way, and you're meeting
mhm.
so many people and you're on the road 300 days a year away from your families and getting the chance to work with so many awesome people.
Right?
Talk to me about you train, you put the work in. You mentioned your time on the independent scene. You were in OVW for a period of time as well. Talk to me about that experience.
I had my very first match in 2001, and then did the indie scene. I mean, I started in Minnesota, did Chicago, Wisconsin, made myself into Louisville, Nashville area. And then in 2005, I made my way, because I would connect with Al Snow on indie shows, and he's like, there is something there, you have it, but you need to be seen. He's like, come to OVW. If you could move there, that'd be awesome on your own dime, and we'll see what Danny Davis and I can do. So I was like, all right. So packed up my truck, drove from Minnesota to Louisville all by myself. Had no idea where I was staying. Had no idea and then just showed up in OVW, and they got me into. I actually got to train with the contracted guys. I never had a contract with them, so then of course I had a side gig, like bartending and stuff to make rent and all that fun stuff, and then, but it was great. OVW obviously set me up for my career in TNA, and I thank OVW, because without OVW, who knows where I would be right now.
And this was a period of time too, with TNA. The knockout division was white hot. I mean, it was full stacked with talented group of women in there. You had yourself, you had the beautiful people, you had Jacqueline, you had so many, Awesome Kong, Gail Kim, so many people. Walk me through signing with TNA and talk to me about memories you had upon first arriving there.
So I got the call when I was actually at OVW. Terry Taylor called me, and it was 2007. And that was when they were first making the knockouts division. Yes, they've had, knockouts here and there, but they never had the actual title. So that was starting at Bound for Glory in 07. Terry Taylor called me, and I was actually at OVW, like literally at OVW that day. And he's like, we'd love to offer you a contract. We really want you to be part of the original knockouts. And I said, awesome. I'm like, well, I'm at OVW right now, but I'll call you back. So I was kind of saying, okay, what's going to happen? And Triple H was actually at OVW that night. And I pulled him aside and I said, I have an opportunity at TNA. And he's like, take it. He's like, unfortunately, Vince does not like your look or your character, but Triple H loved the ODB character. Obviously, it would have fit in great with DX and all that. but he said, go. He's like, go to TNA. That's where you belong right now. So I did, and then never looked back.
And you were there for so many years. How long were you with the company?
So basically, well, I started earlier because I used to go to backstage like when they were in Nashville. So I started actually going to TNA in 02. And then I would have, little matches with Trinity and stuff. And then officially signed in 07, and my last contract was done in 2014. So 7 years, not bad. Not a bad run.
Yeah, I mean, getting the chance to work with just so many legends.
Yeah.
Talk to me about some of the people you got to compete against over there, and who were some of your favorite people that you got to wrestle against over the years?
Oh boy, so many. Well, it was great because when I got there, since my character was so out there, I loved working the beautiful people because they were so different than me. And I had so much fun with them. And then I also knew them from the indies, and Angelina Love. We were actually roommates for about a year or so in the indie scene. Working with them, Tracy Brooks, obviously, me and her traveled the roads together. And it was kind of cool for me and her to finally, wrestle on a big stage. Then, of course, Gail Kim, because she was coming from WWE, so I was like, oh, awesome, this is so cool, because I met her years and years before that. Then, of course, Awesome Kong. It was because I think Awesome Kong, I was always the bigger girl, but when Awesome Kong was there, I'm like, oh, all right, finally someone can kick the shit out of me. And
And I think that's cool that, you're able to, I feel like, work against so many different people, a variety of different styles. And I think it really kind of helps set the tone for what we see today, because I think women's wrestling has really taken it up a notch in recent years. And I think you all were kind of a catalyst for that.
Well, thank you. Well, I think you're right, because I think a lot of the knockouts don't, give ourselves credit, because in 2007, I think the revolution started and we had no idea that it was starting, because we had so many different characters. None of us were the same. You actually put us all in the ring and you could name each person. Now, and there was times, where you could put, 15 girls in a ring. You're like, I don't even know half those girls are, But in the TNA ring, you're like, yep, I know exactly who they are, And it was great because they let us, because we already had our characters basically, because we did the indies for so long. And once we got there, and Dutch Mantel really helped the knockout division, and it was, they gave us time, which the other girls in the other company never got time to talk, do promos, pre-tapes, yes, it was awesome.
Hi, I'm here to pick up my son Milo.
There's no Milo here.
Who picked up my son from school?
Streaming only on Peacock.
I'm gonna need the name of everyone that could have a connection.
You don't understand. It was just the five of us.
So this was all planned.
What are you gonna do? I will do whatever it takes to get my son back.
I honestly didn't see this coming. These nice people killing each other.
All Her Fault, a new series streaming now, only on Peacock.
And I think it's amazing how you hear so many people like come up to you, fans at conventions, like they come up to you, they say they enjoy your work, they've enjoyed watching you on TV. So it has to feel good, getting that recognition.
Oh gosh, yeah, like I loved it. Like it's just so weird to me now on social media, like when we see like, oh, 17, 18 years ago, I'm like, damn, that was a long time ago. Like shit.
Time flies.
Yes, it does.
All right. Okay. Well, let's kind of switch gears now and talk about some of the stuff you've done outside of wrestling. I know you have been very involved with doing a variety of different things as far as charity work is concerned. Let's talk about some of the things that you've done to help out in your community.
Yeah, though now I own and run food trucks with my husband, and we've had, we set up in certain places where we've, given away stuff, and I always like to give back because now I'm just more about being local because we're Minnesota based, so we go everywhere and just kind of help people out and in what we can do, and I'm always volunteering here and there for some stuff. And then, I mean, I don't like post it all the time because I'm not that type of person. Like, oh, look what I'm doing. Look what I'm doing. I just do it just because I love doing it. I don't really promote a lot of it, but I just love giving back.
Well, how long have you been doing the food truck business for?
Been 9 years, and we have two. So it's Big Al and ODB's meet and greet food trucks. We run from March until November 1st. And it's been going great, life after wrestling, because obviously it's after the ODB character and the food truck. We have two of them, and one of them has cool little my wrestling pictures on it. It's kind of like a ghost where you kind of walk by it and you're like, oh shit, now I see it in the back. And of course, I got wrestling fans, and my life's always been a meet and greet. So then when you add the real meat to it, it is one hell of a meet and greet.
Well, why food trucks? What made you decide this is something I want to pursue?
It's something like because in 2014, when I was leaving TNA, I kind of didn't know. I knew I was leaving. Then it happened, and I actually already had my own barbecue and hot sauce line. So I've always been into cooking, as a side gig, just kind of doing it for fun and entertaining people when I was home from the road and always hanging out. And then once I got my barbecue and hot sauce, I traveled. I had an Airstream trailer, and I would travel around barbecue festivals, bike rallies like Sturgis, Daytona, Galveston, Texas, Louisiana, and just promoted my barbecue sauce for a couple years. And then someone's like, "You should get a food truck," and I'm like, "Alrighty." I had no idea how to do it, but I talked to some of my chef friends, and they kind of gave me like, "Okay, keep it simple until you can expand and all this, but keep it simple," because it was just me back in the day, running it for a few years all by myself. And let me tell you, everyone, because I get it all the time when we're on the food trucks. Oh, I want one of these things. I'm like, do ya? Because it's a real job. It's a restaurant on wheels.
That's a
Like
lot of work.
We don't sit in Walmart parking lots. We don't just sit down the road. We're actually at big events. You have to pay to have us come to you. So it's a lot of work. 'Cause my first few years doing the food truck business by myself was a shit show. But I went through it. I worked through it, and bam, now here I am with two.
Now let's talk about was there like a moment that you participated in with your business that you're able to help in some way that was heartwarming?
With the food trucks?
Yeah, with the food trucks.
Yeah, because I was actually down in Florida. I actually started my food truck business. I had a smaller trailer. I don't have it anymore, but I had a trailer, and I started it in Daytona Beach in 2017. And it was parked right outside of Jimmy Hart's bar. And during the hurricanes, I actually fed people during the hurricanes. So that was probably like that was probably like my first year of food trucking. So, and then I just figured, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna cook all this food, and then whoever can come up and So it was gone. But yeah, so that was pretty cool. Got to, feed people during the hurricane.
Yeah, I mean, you just never know, whenever there's like a very, a natural disaster, something that's,
Right.
scary going on in the area,
It's scary because it can happen anytime to anyone, and it's cool when there's people there to help support, to help support, and they're not expecting anything in return. They're just good people trying to help you out. Oh,
Yeah, I mean, when you see, I'm sure like you got like a bunch of people, they really felt good about it, because these
hmm
people they're going through so much, it's happening, so everything's happening, just like a snap of
yeah,
a finger, and so I'm sure, they felt very good about, being able to have food and be able to
right,
enjoy themselves and have, to have a good time, even during
yep.
all the craziness.
Well, that's the thing too. It gives their mind a break, just like, hey, we're gonna hang out with people, we're gonna get some food in you, and just hang out and kind of not forget about what's going on, but a little bit, just kind of get your mind in another place for
Yeah.
just a little bit. Um,
What is it about giving back to the community that gives you the most joy?
just seeing people smile in their faces, because it's hard when people, because a lot of people go through different stuff, and you never know what people are going through, and that's just my thing. Even if it's like people coming to the food truck and like I know, like if they don't have a lot of money or stuff, or they just want to see me because they're big wrestling fans, and they come up, and it's not about like, oh, I want your money. It's not about that at all. Like this is what I do now, so I love it. But I love when I see people, I'm like, hey, don't worry about it, like. But it just when people smile and they say, hey, you make my day, and they don't have much in life, and it's just like, life is important. It doesn't matter what you are, where you are, like what you do for a living. Just be a freaking good person. 'Cause I see so many bad people out there, and it's the world can suck a lot. But so I just like to make people smile, make them feel good about themselves, especially when they come to the food truck. I want them to have an experience that they'll never forget.
That's what it's all about at the end of the
Yeah.
day. Well, let's talk about the reception from the wrestling community. Have you gotten any feedback from any of your fellow colleagues in the business?
Oh, for about the food truck?
Yeah.
Yes, I've actually had the food truck at plenty wrestling events. Just like when we were here when TNA was just here last month, a lot of the wrestlers came out, and the president of TNA, Carlos, even came out to the food truck. So it's very cool, and they put it on. Like they said, "Oh, ODB's here with their food truck outside," so it's kind of cool. And then, yeah, because I've had it. I'm trying to think where else I had it. Because I did have it in Florida, during WrestleMania, during no, when it was in Tampa. So I had it out there, and then had it, yeah. Just and then I work with the independent promotion here, MAW in Minnesota. So we actually put shows on together. So we'll go to a place like a brewery in town, can have about 200 people there. We'll have the food truck outside, the wrestling shows inside the brewery or outside of it. So we do a lot of it's still with wrestling.
I like that.
Yeah.
Combining your interests and passions,
Yeah.
and you're doing it for a good cause. Because I think that it's amazing.
Right.
Yeah. Well, before we go, let's talk about some of the your thoughts on where women's wrestling is going today, and any dream opponents you might have.
Mm. I love wrestling. I mean, I still watch it and I'll keep up with it, especially on social media. Um, really do enjoy watching some of the girls. So I think it's now because it's changed so much in a good way, where now there are more characters, which I love. I love when girls don't look the same and they have their own uniqueness, which is very good. As in wrestling opponents, oh lordy. So I don't even know because I don't wrestle full time anymore. I mean, I wrestle like maybe once a year. Like I mean, I still got it. I can still go. I have no problem. I can still fit in my outfit, but it's I God wrestle. I don't even know. Wrestling opponent. Who would I like to get in the ring with? Well, I think Rhea Ripley would have been a good matchup. Um, I think I could have whooped her ass. Because then I do always think too, and I look at the girls this day. I'm like, oh, which one would I've kind of clicked with in the ring, and it would, because some of them, like, I'm trying to think, like, you have a Tiffany Stratton, she's from Minnesota. Um, that would have been a nice little fun match to get in the ring with her. Charlotte Flair would have been another good one because she's so athletic. And I'm just trying to think of what else, like my character. I'm trying to think of more people I would have fun with. But trying to think who else I would have fun with there. I can look at TNA. It would have been cool to like be part like the Ash Elegance because they kind of remind me of the Beautiful People. So that group would have been fun to work with. But yeah. Well.
Yeah, some good ones for sure.
All
right. Well, this has been wonderful getting this chance to speak with you. I want to say thank you for coming on to Wrestling with Heart. It means a lot to me and to my listeners and viewers that are watching this on YouTube. Where can people find out more about your food truck business and anything you want to plug? Feel free.
Yeah, go to at the ODB BAM. I'm on the TikTok. I'm on the Instagram. I'm on the Facebook. I am on Twitter. I don't really post a lot on Twitter, but Instagram and TikTok and Facebook, look for Big Al and ODB's Meet and Greet Food Trucks. And in case you didn't know, too, I wrote a book about 2 years ago, so you can go to Amazon. ODB One Dirty Bitch. It's a good book. It's not a sad story. I don't have a sad story. I have a get off your ass, do your thing story, and don't take any bullshit from anyone, and just keep living your life, and because this is all we got.
Gotta try to strive for a better life and be positive one step at a time.
I like it. Yes.
All right. Thanks again, and you're more than welcome to come back.
All right. Well, thank you, Stanley. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Take care.
You too.
This is Wrestling with Heart. I hope you found this podcast to be informative and entertaining. If you did, please hit the subscribe button and look out for the next edition.